Hi everyone, I'm Manisha, and this video is a quick overview of homeschooling in Ohio. Now, homeschooling in Ohio is actually very simple and straightforward. There's almost no reporting, no standardized tests required, but actually navigating the website in Ohio homeschooling is a little bit complicated. So I've done that work for you, and I'm going to try to simplify it. Basically, if your child turns 6 on before the first day of school, you need to send a notification to your school district saying that you're homeschooling. If they turn 6 on the first day of school, you don't have to do anything until the next school year between August 1st and August 30th. And if they turn 6 on the second day of school, also no worries, just if they turn 6 before the first day of school. And in order to determine what the first day of school is, I would just recommend Googling your zip code and your school district. Now, if your child is 6, or if you just decided to leave school and start homeschooling, all you really have to do is send a notice to your superintendent. And according to the law, which changed in 2023, technically you're allowed to just email the superintendent. However, homeschoolers recommend that you just cover all your bases, and if you can, send a certified letter. So again, if you're wondering who your superintendent is, it's pretty easy to find online. All you have to do is really Google your zip code, superintendent, and address should pop up. If you're not sure, you can email the homeschool office, and I'll provide that email address as well. So some of the perks of homeschooling in Ohio, I think, are, first of all, just total freedom to do what you want to do. Every single year, you just have to send that notice that you're homeschooling between August 1st and August 30th. Otherwise, you don't have to take any tests. You are supposed to teach certain subjects: English language arts, mathematics, science, history, government, and social studies, but nobody's really checking it, honestly. Some other kind of cool things that you can do are participate in Ohio's College Credit Plus program, which makes it possible for students in grades 7 to 12 to take college classes at participating Ohio colleges or universities, typically state schools, for free, no charge at all, which is such a wonderful way to do modular learning and customize your child's education. Occasionally, you need to pay a small fee to get college credits, and then other times it's completely free. So you can learn more about that in the College Credit Plus program, and it's definitely a perk of homeschooling in Ohio. Another great thing about homeschooling in Ohio is that homeschool students are allowed to participate in extracurricular activities at public schools. That means you can participate in the local public school soccer team or after-school club, debate club. So it's a really wonderful way to curate your child's education while taking advantage of some of the free public resources. Now, if your child has a special need, there's also a scholarship that you might want to be aware of. It's called the John Peterson Special Needs Scholarships. You do have to have an IEP, which is a special form that shows that your child has a diagnosis. If you want to learn more about that, I recommend starting with your family doctor and tell them that you're interested in getting a diagnosis and an IEP. They probably won't be the person who gives the IEP, but they can give you instructions on how to get one. And there's also the Ohio ACE program, and that gives $1,000 per child for extracurricular expenses like tutoring, curriculum, enrichment activities. And then last but not least, there is a small tax credit of $250 a year for homeschool related expenses. Now, just keep in mind for all of this, you really do have to be homeschooling. You can't be enrolled in an online school or a public. You can't be enrolled in a charter school or anything like that to take advantage of these great opportunities for homeschooling in Ohio. Now, I just do want to highlight a couple more resources. I think we really did cover the bases here of homeschooling in Ohio, but there is a really fantastic group where I actually found a lot of really good information about homeschooling. It's called OhioHomeschoolingParents.com, and they just have some wonderful resources available for you. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it, and let's see here. So we have Ohio Homeschooling. Yeah, so these are frequently asked questions on the site, and it's just two really lovely moms in Ohio who've started this. And not only do they have really specific resources about getting started, laws, things to look out for, but they also have local groups. So if you're interested in attending a meetup and learning more about what's available to you, I checked out Central Ohio, and it looks like there's a lot of really wonderful communities here. I was noticing art classes and music classes, rowing, which seems really interesting to participate in, a zoo adventure series. I definitely would take my kid to that one. Oh, and then they have just they just have a link to the website. So you can really get a lot of great information on that site if you're interested in homeschooling in Ohio. And then the other resource is just the State Department's page about homeschooling. It's very useful, and it talks about all the College Credit Plus program, which I mentioned, being involved in sports, Ed Choice scholarships, kind of how that works out with homeschooling or not. So the Ed Choice scholarship program is for partial, and it does not provide funding for home education. But this is just a really good overview of the state laws. And then what's very important here is the recommended notification form. So when you do decide to homeschool, you're going to want to fill out this form, look up who the superintendent is, and send it in. And then just to review again, you are supposed to send this form in between August 1st and August 30th every single year after your child turns 6, provided that they turn 6 before the school year in your district starts. You also have to send this form in within 5 days of 1, moving to a new school district. If you are in school and you move to a new school district and decide to start homeschooling, your child's over 6, you need to send this in. Or if you're in school, you pull your child out of school, you decide to start homeschooling, you need to send this in within 5 days. And then after that, you need to send it in every single year. So that's just like the most important legal base that you have to cover while you're homeschooling. Otherwise, Ohio is, because it is very easy to homeschool in Ohio, you can do a lot there. You can meet a lot of other homeschoolers, because when there's more freedom for homeschooling, more people decide to homeschool. When there's these great resources available like college credits, people decide to start homeschooling. So naturally the communities are larger, more diverse, and that's a big pro. Cons, you might not get as much funding as you would in a place like Florida or Texas. And just like any state, if you're looking for secular groups, you're probably more likely to find that in some of the big cities like Cleveland, and it might be harder in more rural areas. But you can always find community, start your own thing, build more inclusivity in the community that you join. So all in all, I think if you like Ohio, it's a great place to homeschool. I hope this video helped clarify things for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to add them into the comments, or you can ask our AI concierge. There's also a link in the comments, and I'm also going to put a link to that notification form. And any comment that you have, I'll make sure to answer so that you can get the information that you need. And have a wonderful day, everyone.